Whether you're bullish or bearish, there's one fundamental thing that we can agree on. There is so much uncertainty in these current market conditions. This weekend, there's this whole fiasco with Trump trying to acquire Greenland and, of course, imposing tariffs, the EU threatening to pull out of their trade deal with the US, etc. How will the market react to this? In today's video, we'll be talking about this, going over the most recent Bitcoin price action, and giving you some updates on my most recent trades. If you enjoy the content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. Without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Before we get into it, yes, as per my previous video, I am still shorting Bitcoin. My entry is right around $97,000, and I'm currently sitting just around $60,000 in profit on this most recent trade. Now, I'll keep you updated if anything changes, but my stop loss is now at break even, so I cannot lose any capital on this trade after securing a little bit of profits. I am also still longing Bitcoin from the lows, but like I said several times, I am more than happy to let the rest of these unrealized profits get stopped out because I've secured a lot of profits on this trade. Now, a lot has been going on this weekend, and we simply do not know how the markets will react to it. First and foremost, Trump came out and wants to impose 10% tariffs on the following countries: France, Finland, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Germany, Netherlands, and the UK. The tariffs will increase to 25% on June 1st if a deal to acquire Greenland is not reached. Now, this has been going on over the course of the weekend, back and forth and back and forth. The European Union is set to halt approval of the trade deal between the US and the EU after President Trump threatened these tariffs on 8 countries supporting Greenland, of course. And as France put it, the seizure of Greenland would fundamentally jeopardize transatlantic economic relations. The EU is making it clear that they won't back down on Greenland. Trump says tariffs won't drop off until the US acquires Greenland. Buckle up, because we are in for a ride here. Be ready to capitalize on the market swings, because we will likely get swings here. Remember on October 10th, when the US threatened 100% tariffs on China, the stock market did absolutely plummet. Now, I don't need to tell you what happened to crypto. Hint, hint, the liquidation event. And crypto has never really looked the same ever since. So if we get similar price action to this, it simply will not be pretty. I just have to make you aware of it. Something else to consider: the US stock market and the bonds market will be closed on Monday for Martin Luther King Day. So as the stock market is closed, Bitcoin is essentially the only thing that we could be trading right now. And at this point in time, I still continue to maintain my short. You can see that on the lower time frames here, we continue to fail to claim the highs. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, we had this high over here, and then we came back down, saw a pump, and then we continued to fail to claim this high, came back down, formed this range, dropped, and now one would argue that the next high that we need to claim for the momentum on the lower time frames to shift is right around here, just below $96,000. So, can Bitcoin claim that high? The thing is, it is the weekend, so usually we just get choppy price action and we stay relatively stable. But if you've been watching the channel, you know why I am favoring a move to the downside. From a risk to reward perspective, it simply makes sense, and that is the logic behind my most recent Bitcoin short trade. We're seeing a lot of people go long in this market. Liquidity is stacked up to the downside, although we cannot ignore the fact that there are still some shorts in this market, which we'll talk about in today's video. But what I want you to understand here is that a retest of the yearly open would not surprise me. The 2025 yearly open, that is, which is all the way down to around $93,500. Now, if we can hold this level as support, we can make a good case to go ahead and move higher. But we simply don't know how the market will be reacting to this news as it opens on Tuesday. Something else you want to consider: we are still outside of the range, so there's not really that much cause for concern. Until we get acceptance back into the range and we start seeing that this acts as resistance, that is the point in time where I would say, okay, we're going to be moving much, much lower from here. But for now, I entered my short, I have a tight stop loss, and if we revisit that level, I will simply look for new shorts in this market, because that would open up the possibility of a revisit of the bull market support band, which Bitcoin typically does when we are in those bear markets. Now, some of you seem to get frustrated when I say that we are in a bear market, but guys, this is not price action of a bull market, and we tend to always get those retests. This is the retest that we're seeing ongoing right now. So no, I'm not ruling out a move for Bitcoin to actually go above $100,000, but if we did, and the price looks exhausted, that would be a perfect opportunity to start entering a swing short in this market, which is what I will personally be doing. Remember, I'm still holding on to my short trade because no one can actually time the tops perfectly. What if $97,900 was that most recent local top and we start moving lower from there? Well, then of course, I'll be happy with my entries. That's how you want to play the game. Get favorable price action, move your stop to break even, take some profits along the way, and simply let the market do its thing because no one has a crystal ball. Now, something else you need to understand, USDT dominance is starting to peak up here. On the daily time frame, we are getting some green candles here, and the higher that USDT dominance goes, of course, the worse it is for the crypto market. This isn't FUD, I'm just telling you the unbiased truth. And speaking of dominance, let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance, and you can see that on the weekly time frame, we actually got a pretty solid green candle for Bitcoin dominance. We're hovering in our bull market support band. And usually this bull market support band can act as support upon a reclaim. So if we do continue to make the move here and we come back and test it, this could actually fuel another move higher for Bitcoin dominance. And naturally, that isn't favorable for altcoins. You don't need me to tell you that. Now, something that's crucial to understand here is that just because Bitcoin dominance may increase, it doesn't mean that altcoins are just going to zero. It really just has to do with the Bitcoin price action. So if Bitcoin's dumping, then naturally altcoins will probably dump more. But if Bitcoin's pumping, then perhaps if Bitcoin dominance is increasing, altcoins will be going up slightly less as a whole. Hear me out. There are, of course, some outperformers in the market. And if you're able to identify them, then congrats to you. That's an amazing opportunity. But as a whole here, if Bitcoin dominance can reclaim its bull market support band, then I do think we may be entering a new period of Bitcoin outperforming the rest of the market, whether we go to the upside or to the downside. Now, taking a look at the liquidation heat map. Guys, there are some shorts in this market. We cannot ignore this. All the way up to around $100,000, we do have a decent amount of liquidity. There are some shorts piling up, trying to catch this move. I am included in this, but my position is protected, as I've said time and time again. Now, to the downside, there is significantly more cumulative long liquidation leverage in the market. And again, we're going to go to this chart on the 30-day time frame. To the right here, there is just under 3 billion worth of cumulative short liquidation leverage. To the left here, there is over 13.5 billion worth of cumulative long liquidation leverage. It would not surprise me if in this upcoming week, we grab some of this liquidity. And something that could contribute to this would be the Coinbase premium remaining in red. If we start to see another spike of red and this starts seeing some drawdown, then of course, you know what happens to the Bitcoin price. Same thing with the spot ETFs. We had some solid buying last week. This was very, very nice to see. But on Friday, we got around $400 million worth of outflows. And to wrap up this video, we also have the fact that Treasury Secretary Bessent says it's very unlikely that the Supreme Court rules against President Trump's tariffs. Now, the prediction markets were actually saying that it's more than likely that they rule against President Trump's tariffs. But if Trump can just impose tariffs at will, we'll definitely have to see how the price action for Bitcoin reacts to this kind of news, especially along with the stock market. Now, Bessent also came out and said that tariffs did not lead to higher inflation. And with everything that's going on, Jim Cramer came out and said, get ready for a bad market open on Tuesday. Now, usually he's wrong, so maybe we do get a very, very nice pump. Something else you want to consider here is one of Trump's insiders, Garrett Jin, with a 100% win rate, is longing the entire market with just under $1 billion. In October, he made around $100 million with just one short in 3 hours. He went all in again, just like last time. Is this gambling, or does he have some insider information? The thing is, we know that markets don't like uncertainty. That is one of the reasons why I'm also holding my short, but from a technical perspective, it did make sense, especially when we got this retest and we failed to go ahead and claim the highs. Now we're seeing the same kind of price action, And I don't think that we're necessarily just going to absolutely plummet from here, but from a risk to reward perspective, it made sense to go short. And of course, this was shared in my free premium group. If you want to see exactly how I am personally trading the market on a day-by-day basis, you have the first link in my description down below. DM me the keyword premium, and I'd be happy to onboard you into my free premium group. The only requirement is that you signed up with one of my affiliate exchange links down below, and you start trading on there as you've normally done. We can even transfer you under my referral on Bluffin, for example, if you're already trading on there. Something else, we do have a massive promotion with BTCC, which is still available. And that promotion is 30% unlimited deposit bonus. So in theory, this does mean that if you deposit $1 million, you can get up to $300,000 back for trading purposes, of course. Now there's some terms and conditions that I would highly recommend you read, but this is a pretty insane promotion if you ask me. I've been in crypto since 2017 and I've never really seen anything quite like this. That would be the second link in my description down below. And that sums up today's quick video. Trump continues his pursuit to acquire Greenland, and of course the EU are opposing to this. How will these tariffs come into play? How will the market react? Remains to be seen. Market opens again on Tuesday, and until then, I will simply be trading the market that is right in front of me. If you enjoyed the content, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe. I have my Bluffin leverage trading tutorial right here, and I'll see you in the next video.